y'all, this is airplane mode once again, and today I'll be flying aboard the IXEG 737-300 Classic for X-Plane 11 on a trip from Phoenix Sky Harbor down to Palm Springs. The plane is started up as you can see, and the FMC has been programmed, so all that is left are the final checklists that we must complete before we leave from Guys, welcome aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 1428 with full service from Phoenix to Palm Springs. The flight should take us about 1 hour to do with 121 passengers on board and a cruising altitude of 24,000 feet. Once again, the plane has been started up, so with that we can begin to review our FMC and the routing for today's Alright guys, now that we are down here at our FMC, you can clearly see that obviously our origin airport is Phoenix Sky Harbor and our destination airport is Palm Springs, and we are obviously flying as Alaska Airlines Flight 1428. Moving toward departure and arrival index, you can see that we are departing here on the ISO 3 departure with no transition due to the fact that the transition did not match up with the one on SimBrief. Anyway, with that, we are also departing off of runway 8, as you can see there. Moving to our arrival section, here we are arriving on the Spone 01, arrival with no transition, and we are arriving on RNAV for runway 31 left, and once again, there is no transition. So with that guys, we can move to our legs page over here, and you can obviously see that our cruising altitude is 24,000 feet, and all this stuff looks good. So once again, the flight should take us about an hour to do. All these add up there. So with that, our route is pretty much configured, and we can move on to some of the other Alright guys, so next on our checklist is the MCP panel, as you can clearly see right here. So to begin things off, we can go ahead and arm our auto throttle, turn on both of our flight directors, and set our speed to V2, which today is 141 knots. We can go ahead and set 141 right there. Next, we can go ahead and set our heading, which for today is 78 degrees. We can move down until we reach 78 degrees right there, and we can move our altitude through our cruising altitude, which for today is obviously 24,000 feet. So we can go ahead and set that guy there, and with that we can go ahead and wait to arm our LNAV and VNAV until we are in the air, because it does not work on the ground. So with that, we can go ahead and move to our pressurization panel. Alright guys, I lied, we will not be moving to our pressurization panel, but we will be moving on to some other checklists. So to begin those guys, we can go ahead and start by turning on our yaw damper like so. We can make sure that all of our fuel pumps are on, which now they are. We can turn our emergency lights so they're on position. Go ahead, turn all of our window heaters on, and with that we can also go ahead and turn on our electric hydraulic pumps, and with that we can truly move on to the air conditioning panel. Alright guys, now that we are up here at our air conditioning panel, we can go ahead and turn on our recircle fan. We can set both of our packs auto, we can open our isolation valve, and we can turn our APU on, and with that we can move down to our pressurization panel. Alright guys, so to start things off down here at our pressurization panel, we can go ahead and begin by filling in our cruising altitude, which obviously is 24,000 feet. I do not know how that is preset. I did not preset that. Kind of creepy. Anyway, moving on, we can go ahead and set our landing altitude, which for today is going to be 476 feet. So we can set 476 right here. That looks good right there. And for our cabin altitude, we can go ahead and set Phoenix's elevation, which once again for today is 1,135. So we can go ahead and set that right here, 1,135. That all looks good. Our flight ground switch is set to ground right there. Everything looks good there. This guy is set to auto, and with that we are pretty much set to move on to some other checklists. Alright guys, so now for the most part, since we have all of our overhead checklists complete, we can go ahead and start our before start checklist. So to begin that, we can go ahead and set our speed markers, which is pretty much just the V speeds. You've seen me do it before, it's nothing new. So anyway, we can set our V1 speed, which in my case today is 130 knots. So we can set 130 right there. Our VR speed for today is 132, so that's just going to go right next to that guy right there. And finally, our V2 speed is 141 knots, so we can go ahead and set that guy right there. That all looks good right there. We can go ahead and set our altimeter, so we can go ahead and set that for today is 2988, so we set that 2988, that looks good right there. Our radios are not going to be useful today. Our thrust reduction is set on the FMC. And we'll click and start. We can go ahead and shut our packs off right here. And we can go ahead and turn on our anti-collision light just so we have that guy on right there. And with that, we are pretty much set to clear all of our ground handling. So we can move here and we can just do hide all. And we can move here to our ground services. We can go ahead and close our cargo doors. That all looks good right there. And just to clarify, we can go ahead and release our parking brake and pull it again. That will clear all of the other things that may be around the plane. And with that, we can go ahead and start our pushback. So we can move here to plugins, that are pushback, and we can start our pushback. Alright guys, so as you can see, our pushback truck is coming up. I'm going to go ahead and wait for this guy to connect, and I will be back with you guys shortly. Alright guys, so our tug right here is fully connected. So with that, we are pretty much set to begin our pushback. So we can go ahead and release our parking brake here, right there, and we will begin
starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Alright, we also have been cleared to start our engines, as you can hear. So we are going to go ahead and just wait for this guy to push us back a little bit. And right here is about good to start our engine. So as we always do, we will go ahead and start engine 2 first. So we can go ahead and set engine 2 to the ground position and wait for that guy to reach 25%. Alright, and now that we are approaching 25%, we can go ahead and introduce fuel. And we'll pretty much be having a successful, hopefully, start on engine 2. Alright, engine 2 has started up successfully, so now we can go ahead and start engine 1. So we can set engine 1 to the ground position and wait for that guy to reach 25%. Alright, we can go ahead and set our parking brake there and just continue waiting.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
25%. Alright, there's 25%. We can go ahead and introduce fuel to engine 1 and wait for engine 1 to start up. Alright guys, so now that engine 1 has successfully started up and both of our engines are both on and running well, we can go ahead and start both of our generators like so. We can go ahead and turn on our pilot static heat. We can put our packs back to their auto position down here. We can go ahead and test our flight controls, so we can go pull back.
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed.
Alright, we can go ahead and wait for our hand signals, but in the meantime continue our flight controls. Full left, that looks good. Full right, oh that looks good. And for our rudders, looks good. And rudders full left. All that stuff looks good right there. So moving on, we can go ahead and turn our APU off. We can turn our actual APU off because we do not need that there anymore. We can go ahead and yep, there's our hand signals. That all looks good right there. Anyway, continuing on with our checklist, we can go ahead and set our flaps. So we can set them to our flaps 5 position for takeoff today. And with that, we can go ahead and wait for our flaps to set. Alright, so now that flaps 5 are set, we can go ahead and set our auto brake to RTO. We can set our engine start switches to their continuous position. We can turn our runway turn-off lights and our taxi lights all on, like so. And with that, we can go ahead, release our parking brake, and taxi ourselves to runway 8. Alright, we can go ahead and test our brakes, so we can go ahead and tap our brakes. Those guys look good. And with that, we can just continue our taxi to runway 8. Alright guys, now that we are approaching runway 8 in the hold short line, we can go ahead and begin to slow down a little bit here so we're not totally overspeeding the hold short line. Alright, this is close enough right here. We can go ahead and set our parking brake. And now we can go ahead and begin our before takeoff checklist. So we can go ahead, turn all of our landing lights on. Turn all of these guys off, and we can confirm that our flaps are set to flaps 5, which they are. And with that, we can go ahead, release our parking brake and taxi on to runway 8. We can go ahead and make sure that we are clear from the left. We are clear from the right. Looks clear enough. We can go ahead and finish our taxi. Alright guys, now that we are on runway 8 right here, we can go ahead and stabilize our engines. Put right there, and we're going to hit N1. Airspeed is alive. We're looking for 132 knots. That's it. Alright, we want to rotate. Slowly go back here. Alright, and positive brake. Speed up. Alright, just so that we're ready for when we need to engage autopilot, we can go here and
Flight slow.
set
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
Alright, everything is looking okay here. We can go ahead and arm our autopilot like so. We're pretty much on course, so all of that is okay how it is. We can go ahead and set our landing gear to their off position. And so now that we've crossed through 2,000 feet, we can go ahead and put all of our flaps up, set our auto brake to off position, and we can go ahead and shut our logo lights off. All those guys are good how they are. Okay, I don't know why it's saying low pressure, but we can go ahead and shut these guys off so we are not interrupted by that little thing again. With that, we can go ahead and set our engine start switches back to their off position. And with that, guys, we are out of Phoenix and successfully on our way to Palm Springs. Alright guys, now that we are approaching 10,000 feet, we can go ahead and shut our landing lights off. So, and we can turn our fasten seatbelt signs off. And with that, guys, we are pretty much set until 18,000 feet when we will set our altimeters to their standard position. So I will see you guys then. Alright guys, now that we are approaching 18,000 feet, we can go ahead and move them into our altimeters and set these guys to 2 right there. And with that, we are set until we reach top of the set, so I will see you guys then. We are close enough to top of descent now that I am going to go ahead and set my next altitude restriction, which for today is 18,900 feet. So we can go ahead and set that guy right there. And let's just wait for our actual top of descent. Alright guys, so as you can clearly see, we are descending now and our VNAV is carrying us down. But to begin our descent checklist, we can go ahead and turn our seatbelts on. We can turn our runway turn off lights to their on position. And that literally is pretty much it. So we reach 18,000 feet and we will set our altimeters. Alright guys, and just so that we do not stop descending, I'm going to go ahead and set my next altitude restriction of 15,600 feet. So I'm going to move this guy right here, 15,600 feet, that should be good. And I'm going to continue to go down here to VNAV. Alright Alright guys, now that we have just crossed through 18,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and set the altimeter for Palm Springs, which is the same at Phoenix, 2998. I'm going to go ahead and set that guy right there. And I do apologize in advance for being a little late with that piece happening. I do not know why. It's a little bit weird, but anyway, with that, I will see you guys at our next altitude restriction. Also guys, a few more things we do have to do for our passenger safety is we can move down here to our approach truck down here. Obviously our first weight is set right there, and we will be flying once again a flaps 40 landing, so that will leave us with a VREF of 130 knots plus the wing correction, so that will leave us with 135 knots as our VREF. So we go ahead and set it right there and put it in there, so 135 knots will be our VREF. Also continuing with our checklist, we can go ahead and set our engine start switches to continuous right there. And that is pretty much it until we do reach our next altitude restriction, which looks like is right now. So we can go ahead and set 13,300 feet here, 13,300 feet. We can go vertical speed. Oh, sorry, VNAV. And now once again we can go ahead and set our altitude restriction, which is going to be below 11,000 feet. So we can set 10,900 feet here, 10,900, and we can once again go VNAV and just continue our descent down to Palm Springs. Alright guys, so our VNAV kind of quit on us, which is kind of annoying, but it's totally fine. We can go ahead and set our next altitude restriction, which will be 8,000 feet or above, so we'll just do 8,100 feet. 8,100 feet right there, and we have no choice but to use our vertical speed, so we can just go down to about 2,000 feet per minute right there. Also, and 1.6 miles, obviously, as you can tell, we need to drop our speed to 240 knots, so we can just go ahead and do that now. We can set 240 knots right here. And that looks good right there. We are about to cross through 10,000 feet, so we can go ahead and set our landing lights all there on position. And with that, we are pretty much set until we reach our next altitude. Alright guys, we are now set to set our next altitude restriction, so we can go ahead and set 5,400 feet right here. 5,400 feet. As well as drop our speed to 210 knots right here. Yep. Like that. And we can also use our vertical speed to just go down to about 2,000 feet per minute. And with that, we are pretty much set until we reach our before landing checklist. Alright guys, now that we are pretty much at our altitude restriction, we can go ahead and set our next one, which will be 4,100 feet. So we can just drop this 4,100 feet right there. And we can go down once again at about 2,000 feet per minute. Also at this time, we have to reduce our speed to 183 knots. So we can go ahead that to 183 right there. And also now is the time that we will start pulling some flaps, so we can set flaps to 5 for now. And I also will be setting my auto brakes to 2 because it's not the longest runway in the world, and I don't really know where we will touch down. That is pretty much it for now. We can go ahead also one more thing and on our speed brakes, and with that we are set for our next altitude restriction. Alright guys, now that we are at our altitude restriction, we can go down to our next one, so we can go ahead and set 2,900 feet right there, and we can lower our speed to 160 knots, and we can also go ahead and set flaps to 15. Alright, I don't know why our landing gear warning is going off this early. Nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and set my gear to their down position, and we can just go ahead and let our gear drop. Alright guys, we are on the high side by a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my altitude. Just drop it to 0 right there, and clear that guy right there, and I'm going to go down at about 1,000 feet per minute and just kind of wait until we are on our glide slope. Also at this time, I'm going to go ahead and reduce my speed to 150 knots just so we can slow down a little bit, as well as set my flaps to flaps 25. Alright guys, I am going to go ahead and set flaps to 30, as well as totally disengage my autopilot and speed, and just kind of maintain all of that myself as we try to line up for runway 31 left. Alright, I am going to go ahead and set my flaps to full, We are on the glide slope, so our approach is looking okay right now. I'm just going to kind of go ahead and continue toying around with the throttles just so we get the right speed and get eventually down to 135 knots for our VWAP. Alright, we are a little bit on the low side, so I'm going to go ahead and increase my throttles a little bit. Okay, now we are totally low. We don't want that.
400.
400.
300.
300.
Minimum.
Alright, there's our minimums right there. Still a little bit low.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Alright, retard. Don't want to float
10.
again. Uh-oh. Yikes. A little bit of a bounce there, not the prettiest landing. But nonetheless, we are down. We go ahead, going our reverse thrust. Try to stop in time. Do that right there. Alright, there's 70 manual braking. We take this high-speed taxi way right here. And guys, welcome to Palm Springs. Definitely not the nicest landing in the world, but we are down nonetheless. We can go ahead and clear that right there. Put our flaps up. Speed brakes can come up. Auto brakes can come off. Alright, we can go ahead and shut these guys off too. I don't know why our fuel pumps keep saying low pressure. It doesn't really make sense. Anyway, we can go ahead and shut our landing lights off. Taxi lights can come off. APU can then just start. That looks good right there. Engine start switches can go off. We can go ahead and set our pilot static heats to their off position and just taxi ourselves to the ramp. We can go ahead and turn our strobe lights off like that. We never set our flight ground switch to flight. Whoops, my bad. And with that, we can just continue to taxi to our ramp. Alright guys, we are approaching our ramp right up here. We can go ahead and begin to slow down, and once again, looking back on that replay, holy cow, I did not realize how much we bounced there. That was insane. And once again, there's no marshaller. That was annoying, but whatever. We can go ahead and stop right here. We can pull our parking brake, kill our engines, and we can turn on our APU generators. We can turn our seatbelt signs off. Go ahead and turn our anti-collision lights off. We can turn all of our fuel pumps off, which they pretty much all are. We can go ahead and turn this guy on right here. We can turn our galley switch off, as well as turn our window heaters off, and we can go ahead and turn our electric hydraulic pumps off, and finally we can turn our packs off. And with that, that's the plate in its turnaround state. Well guys, it's been fun, but sadly the video has come to an end. I do want to thank all of you guys very much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed it. The total flight time for today's flight was 53 minutes. Once again guys, I want to thank you all very much for watching the video, and as always, I will be seeing you in the next one.